G-I-R-L-S-C-A-M-P. It's Girls Camp.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Girls Camp podcast. I'm your host, Haley Rawl, and I am joined today by my friend, Madi Murphy West.
Hello.
Hi.
And we're in my zone.
I know, it's weird.
But you're in the head honcho seat.
I am interviewing you, but in your setup.
I know. I actually kind of love this. This is like the most relaxed I've ever felt recording.
You love being interviewed, don't you?
I love being interviewed. I love having people on the podcast.
Yeah.
I love having somebody else there is the best thing ever.
I know. I was explaining this yet again to Bentley the other day. I was like, if I just had a co-host, I think all my problems would be solved.
I really do. But then think of how many problems it would create.
No,
because
there's no way.
Here's the thing. You have to start it together.
Yep.
Or not, or never bring a co-host on. Because it's like, if you think of JC and Chelsea, it's like they started this together.
Yes.
So there's never any question of like what it is. But I feel like, because I think about this all the time. I'm like, what if I just brought Lucy on full time or whatever? And I'm like, and we've had these conversations and it's like, but it's so hard to change it, to change what it is. And then have to, like, I'm on my own schedule and then adding another person in. It's a lot.
No, even the scheduling alone would make it not worth it.
But it's a fun fantasy.
It is a fun fantasy. And tonight, it's a reality for you and I.
We are accomplishing a lot of fantasies tonight. Later on,
we got a camera set up. Who knows what might happen. Today, we are actually talking about a subject you and I talk about a lot in our free time, which is, well, we're going to be focusing most specifically on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
However, a lot of these reality TV worlds are kind of colliding right now. And we're going to be talking about that as well. Because there's kind of like
in regards to Mormonism.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because we have Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, season 3. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Is that coming out? Is it like the 16th?
It's next Thursday, 14th.
What day is that? 14th. One of the, something like that.
And I think they all come out at once. So I think we'll be able to see the whole season. We have the current season of Dancing with the Stars, number 30-something. My first season fully watching. Is this your first season fully watching?
I watched as a kid a lot. My mom was we watched a lot of reality, like American Idol, Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. We always watched it. And so, no, I'm familiar. I've been familiar. But for sure, I mean, I definitely watched the last few seasons. I watched every episode, but there were years that I didn't.
Yes. Yeah. This is I have seen things here and there, but this is my first season really watching the judging, everything.
Yeah.
I love it. And I also have thoughts. But there are so many Mormons, and we're going to talk about all the people on the cast who are Mormon. We have stars who are Mormon this season. And then we're going to talk a little bit as well about Taylor Frankie Paul, who was just casted as the Bachelorette.
So crazy.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives women are kind of taking over.
It's
the
so
world.
Crazy. It really is. No, I never would have expected, because I heard rumblings of this show, I mean, months, if not years before it came out. And I don't know about you, but these rumors happened all the time. Oh, so-and-so's getting a show. So-and-so's pitching a show. Oh, these sisters are getting a show. They're going to, whatever. I've heard it a million times. I feel like when Tan France got Queer Eye and introduced, because he's obviously, he lives here in Salt Lake. I feel like it might have been the crack of Utah adjacent people. Maybe I'm making that up.
That's an interesting entry point.
I felt like that because people were like, oh, he worked with Rachel Parcell. And then, I don't know, I feel like that kind of snowballed. But I also think there's been a huge uptick in just Mormon interest in general, because there's been so many documentaries, a ton of TV about it. It's really being brought to the forefront in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yes, and across genres.
Totally.
I was trying to concept this episode, and I kept getting more and more niche, because I was like, oh, let's just talk about Mormonism in the media. And I was like, oh, but then we have Under the Banner of Heaven, that Mormon-related show. We could talk about Sister Wives, the polygamy-related show. It really is kind of an explosion. And to be able to talk about Mormonism in the world of reality TV, and even ignoring some random, Love is Blind last season had an ex-Mormon.
Oh, yeah.
Remember her?
Yes.
Marissa?
Oh, and this most recent season, Casey.
I didn't watch this most recent season.
If you're watching, Casey.
Ex-Mormon or Mormon?
Ex-Mormon.
See?
Yeah.
I swear that casting directors now are
they're looking for it.
Looking for an ex-Mormon or a Mormon.
And what's coming to mind as we're talking about this, kind of the fascination with Mormons just in general. I think everybody's becoming more and more fascinated by it. But so my dad was a professional athlete and like he played in the 80s, and there was like a handful of other like Mormon professional athletes, and like Dodger Stadium did Mormon night, where they like brought like, and they like, yeah, isn't it? I'm just remembering this. I need to ask my mom about like the details of what it was, but it was basically like they brought all the Mormon athletes to like do like come down on the field.
Just to honor the Mormons.
And then like, it was like, you know, the stadium's full of Mormons. Like isn't that crazy? In like the 80s.
Crazy.
Can you imagine like seeing a Mormon night at like a baseball stadium? It would be crazy.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, and I've been thinking about this, I'm sure you think about this a lot as well. Why do you think the uptick in interest around Mormonism? And this is a difficult question because it's kind of a chicken and egg, right? Where it's like once one Mormon thing happens, then people get interested and then more people get interested.
Totally.
So I guess a better question is, why do you think people find Mormonism so fascinating?
I mean, it is fascinating. It's one of those things that I wish so bad I could erase Mormonism from my brain and learn about it like I would learn about any other religion or cult or whatever. Like, I wish so bad I didn't have all of this in my brain because I'm so curious what it looks like from an outside perspective. I always want to know why people think about Mormonism so much and what they're thinking about it. And I ask my sister-in-law, who's, you know, never been Mormon, I ask her all the time. I don't know why. It is fascinating. I mean, it is like, and it gets deeper. The layers go deeper and deeper. I think something that is the most fascinating about it to me is that I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. You don't actually really learn about Mormonism from active Mormons. And I think that's like, it feels kind of salacious that like when you actually learn about Mormon doctrine and Mormon history and you ask an active Mormon about it, they don't know about it. Like it's kind of alarming. Like, and I think probably so many ex-Mormons have this experience. I didn't know the doctrine until I left. I really, truly did not. And I grew up really active, family home evening, church every week. Like I was not a casual member. And I did not know about the basics until I left. And that feels very juicy. Like if there was a group out there that was telling me something that they were, and then behind the scenes and all this history was available to them that they just ignored and they didn't want to hear about. That's crazy.
No, that's a really good point too, because as an outsider, a lot of times outsiders are learning information from Alyssa Grenfell, this big ex-Mormon TikToker who shares information. They're learning about who Joseph Smith is.
Yeah.
And then they're seeing, you know, a Utah influencer living this happy, wholesome, beautiful lifestyle. And then they're like, wait, but how do these two things fit together?
Yes, I think it's the juxtaposition of that, where it's like these facts are readily available. I mean, we ask Claire the same thing, where it's like, or she'll ask us, she'll be like, you guys didn't really believe that. You guys, and I'm like, well, I didn't know I believed it till I left. I didn't know I was saying all of those things, doing all those things until I left. But no, I think it is like the veneer of Mormonism and then the really dark truth of Mormonism. I mean, how could you not like just, I mean, it's so crazy too, like seeing all of these women in the public eye and being like, you know, and from where we're sitting being ex-Mormon. And I still have this moment all the time where I'm like, oh, they're still active. Like, that's so crazy. Like, and not that it's, I don't mean that in an offensive way where I'm like, they're stupid or whatever, but it's like, oh yeah, they're still actively doing this. I don't know. It's crazy. That probably did not come out right.
No,
but
I totally know what you mean. I think it's because there is such a paradigm shift when you are taking in information about Mormonism, when you are no longer committed to believing it. And I think that's another thing. Like some of the things about the weird history stuff and about even current things going on, when you are in a certain mindset, you make sense of those things. And it takes taking yourself out of that mindset to be able to like see it for what now I think what it is objectively. But obviously that's going to vary by person what their opinion of the whole thing is.
And this is like, I've said this before on my podcast. Somebody said like, do you think that I don't know, it's something to the effect of like, do you think you can have a genuine, real relationship with somebody who's active or whatever? And like me, yeah. Like I do believe that I have a genuine, real, deep connection with my active siblings, with my parents, like I don't feel like I have a fake relationship or they fake love me. But like when it goes, or the question was like, what if I agree with certain things that like ex-Mormons believe, like, I don't know, something like that. And I'm like, no, I understand that you can believe the same things I do, but it hasn't sunk in the same way, because if it had, then you'd be where I am. And if it had sunk in and you chose to stay, then that would, it wouldn't make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I have conversations with active members where they're like, no, I totally agree. And I'm like, but you don't maybe agree in the same way.
Or else you would not still be doing it.
Yes, because it doesn't make sense. Like you have some sort of armor around, you agreeing with me that Joseph Smith was a terrible person, but yada, 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 this is why I stay. So it's like, yeah, we can agree on those things, but we may not be able to like really let those things sink in the same way.
Yes.
Anyway,
there's like a compartmentalization or
definitely
something happening.
Definitely.
And this is why I think Mormons are doing so well on reality TV, especially Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because it's about Mormonism. Also, maybe Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I've dabbled in.
How could we not even mention that? Yeah.
I know. I mean, that's a huge, I think it's one of the most successful of the franchise. But I think it's performing so well because that's what reality TV is like, oh, let's take these rich, gorgeous women and show you when they fight with each other and that their marriages are on the rocks and that they're this and that. And Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is doing that, but also with the like, oh, Mormon women who have young children and they're on TikTok, doing these dances. And then you take a peek behind the curtain.
Yes.
And you realize the Mormonism of it all is much more complicated than you would originally imagine. And it's just, I feel like it plays so well into what people find interesting about Mormonism, which is like a behind the facade situation.
Totally. No, I totally agree. And it is like, I wonder, again, from an outside perspective, how people see it, because are people like diving into Mormonism? Like people who are randomly fans of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like they're probably not like going deep like you and I have on like the real like sticky parts of the church, like they're just seeing like the whack rules. They're seeing like, oh, these girls don't drink alcohol, but they do ketamine. Like that's enough. Just like the little taste that they're getting of like, and I said this on my recap of the very first season when it's like, okay, so they can't drink alcohol, but they can do ketamine. And it's like, yeah, that's not an exaggeration. Like that is how it is. You can do ketamine. You can't drink alcohol. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. That's not an exaggeration.
And it's not explainable. Same with coffee versus
soda. Yeah.
And I think that...
Have you had the canned Diet Coke with lime?
No. Is it good?
It's so good. If I have any cans, I'll send you with one.
Oh my gosh, please.
It's so good.
I've seen it around, but I haven't like seen it in person to buy
delish.
it. I need to try it because that's my drink.
Yes. I love that. I love that part of you.
It's so good.
I love the years.
I got one today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've been drinking them all day.
Oh,
like I've been drinking Diet Cokes like late in the evening.
I'm obsessed. I can't sleep though. I've started to have a cutoff time because it still affects me.
Dang it. But yeah, like those rules, like they are as confusing and unexplainable. They're as they seem.
Yes.
Like
it's weird.
They don't make sense.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. The rules around garments don't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you can take them off when you have sex, when you swim, and when you sweat, but you can justify when you sweat. Maybe you're walking around Disney. Oh, that's how I tell my friends I'm not wearing my garments because I'm sweating and I'm walking around. I'm in running shoes. So it's kind of like working out. So I don't have to feel bad about it. But when I go to my bishop, he's only going to make me stop the sacrament for 1 month. But if I go to the other bishop, it's like those little nuances are real. And they're probably so fascinating. And I wish I knew what it was like to see it.
I know. And sometimes I want to scream through the screen, even on like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, when the Mormonism is being kind of talked about. And I'm like, this is, to your point, the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
As far as the weird things you could unpack.
No,
Mormonism.
that's the thing. When people were like they were learning about soaking and all that stuff, I'm like, That's not even the weirdest thing.
Not even
That's
close.
not even like when I went to when I was in high school, the thing that guys would do is like the armpit thing. Have you heard of this?
Oh, I have heard of
And they
this.
they hold you like in your armpits because they're like their boob or your boob is like touching their hand, but their hands are technically like in your armpits. They're like
so they're
holding
not
it.
technically touching your boob.
Like stuff like that. Or like, let's put our swimsuits on and make out instead of like making out in our underwear because like making out in our swimsuits isn't as bad. Like all those things. I'm like, there are so many. You guys are missing out if all you're worried about is the soaking.
100%. The loopholes are endless.
It's crazy.
Another thing about Mormonism that I think makes for really good reality TV, like The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Real Housewives of Salt Lake, is Mormonism is quite secretive.
Yes.
Or as they would say,
Sacred. Yes.
And so people don't really know that much about it besides these kind of surface level things. And then you start getting more into like, oh, well, okay, to get married in the temple, you have to do what? And oh, your dad couldn't come because he didn't have a temple regimen?
Yeah.
What's a temple regimen? There's so many things about Mormonism that people don't know and that Mormonism kind of doesn't want people to know.
Yeah.
Or Mormons don't want people to know. And so having these shows, it is slowly kind of exposing, I think, more and more things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you look at Dancing with the Stars, and it's almost this opposite effect. And I'm curious your thoughts on this because I've been thinking this with both Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and Dancing with the Stars. Do you think it is a net positive for the church to have this many Mormons or Mormon adjacent people in the limelight right now in these ways?
I guess like by net positive, do I think people are like going back to church and joining the church or just like in a PR way?
In a PR way. Do you think people think better generally of the Mormon church?
No,
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I always make the joke when people are like, oh, well, why'd you leave the church? I'm like, I spent 40 minutes on the internet. Like that was what it took. Like there are definitely like, if you are avoiding ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon, whatever stuff on the internet, that's fine. But if you're just doing a simple search, I mean, as an outsider, I mean, it's readily available. I mean, people look up Mormonism. Like I don't know if you've ever asked ChatGPT anything about about Mormonism.
Is it true?
Yeah, no, like literally, like I felt like Joseph Smith, like
no.
late at night. I'm like, what church is the most true?
Sometimes I do have ChatGPT talk me off cliffs when I'm like, everyone's mad at me that I don't believe in Jesus, but I'm confused because that feels like a bit far-fetched.
I know.
ChatGPT will be like, you're valid in that. I'm like,
Well,
thank you.
I had a girl in my DMs the other day because I was talking about the Book of Mormon and like characters in the Book of Mormon, and I said like this is basically Harry Potter, and she messaged me and she was like, that's really disrespectful, and I'm like, the Book of Mormon is not true. That doesn't mean it can't be good for you. But I'm not going to pretend with you here that this actually happened and these people are real. Your own leadership has said this is not a book of history. Like, that's totally fine. It doesn't have to ruin the church for you. And you can still go to church and believe in it or whatever. But I'm not going to sit here.
It's not your job to play into that worldview.
Exactly. And again, I'm like, people who love Lord of the Rings, it changes their lives. They live their life by it. They think about the characters all the time. That's fine. They can do that. I'm not going to pretend that Lord of the Rings happened.
Yeah.
But that, like, anyway, I'm getting off track. I feel like this happens every time I talk to you. I'm
see
like,
what you're saying, though. This is an interesting perspective because I've thought a lot about missionary work and how I've thought about, I mean, you were even talking about your dad was a professional athlete. Yeah. When someone who is Mormon is a professional athlete or an actress or a dancer or whatever, it is always like, oh, when I was growing up Mormon, like one of us.
Yes.
And look what a good name
they're
giving the church. And people are going to come to find the gospel through this person just by being this public person. And I think your point is really true, where in the world we live in now someone's going to Google Mormonism or Mormon or Jenna Johnson, was she Mormon? And they're pretty immediately going to be exposed to like probably things that are not going to make them want to like set up an appointment with the Mormon missionaries.
100%. And I feel like the church used to really embrace their famous people. Like even like Donnie and Marie, like they used to like perform, like, the church would like acknowledge it, or they would be in LDS Living, or they would like, and I think that the church has taken a major step back from engaging with like Mormon celebrities because it's not worth the risk. I don't think. Because I'm like, there are active LDS people on Dancing with the Stars, obviously Mormon wives, like that are temple recommend holding, they're married with kids,
Mormons.
actual Mormons.
Yeah, going to church every week. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like had this happened in the 90s, I mean, it would have been like the church would have really embraced that. And because I think that the church as a whole really, and members too. And I think this is why, like, even me, like, when there's a mention of a Mormon or Utah or anything in a song, in a movie, I'm like, we were mentioned. Like, because you just kind of, when you're growing up Mormon, you chase the feeling of like people thinking you're normal. And growing up here, it's fine. You're normal to basically everybody. But like to the outside world, when you get a taste of like, oh, we're weird. But like, look at this famous person. Like
Brandon Flowers of the Killers.
Exactly. And I think that's why like Meet the Mormons. Like speaking of Brandon Flowers, like why they did stuff like that. As time has gone on, as ex-Mormons have become more vocal, ex-Mormon Reddit, TikTok, everything, it's like all that information is out there. I think they have taken a big step back from trying to push that. Do you think? I
haven't even thought about that. You're so right. I also think that most celebrities who are Mormon are very intentionally very, very careful about how they share about that.
Yeah.
If they share about that at all.
Yeah.
And this came up for me thinking about the Dancing with the Stars cast, because I want to read a list of how many people on this current season are Mormon. And I don't know if they're active, if they're ex-Mormon. Some of them we kind of know because they've shared, but I didn't want to like try and dig too deep into like, is Whitney going to church? Yeah, like, I guess I could have asked her. I could have, Anyway, I do have connections with some of these people.
I know that's
half of them went to my high school.
I know, and that's the other thing that's tough. Like even when I talk about secret lives, I'm like, this is hard to be objective because we are tied to these women in a lot of ways, and like, I do care about them. Like, I don't see these women and like, root against them or hate them, or I'm not in their DMs like hating them. Like, I really care. Like, I care about these women.
I ride for the Secret Lives women, and now I ride for those Dancing with the Stars pros.
Totally. And so it's hard to talk about it though. It's like last season when, with the Whitney and Michaela, or no, it was the first season when Whitney's the villain. It's like, I like Whitney and I've interacted with her and I really like her and I still like her. But then it's like I'm trying to recap this reality show where I'm like, I understand Whitney was edited this way and she's playing this character, but it's like I also don't want to get too in the weeds with that. Where I'm like, anyway, it's kind of a mess. But listen,
it's interesting.
Yeah,
and I was thinking that as I was preparing for this because, I went to school with the Arnold sisters and Jenna, so not half of them, but I mean. That's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
And it's like, to your point as well, before we dive into this list, I was thinking that same thing of, I've talked about this a lot, but it's kind of like, okay, I sit here and shit talk Mormonism. It's one of my favorite things to do. And then I see these women on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I'm like, I am more similar to you than I am to people who I feel like we are Mormon.
Yeah.
I'm still Mormon in the way that they're still Mormon, meaning like that's our shared language and our culture.
Yes.
And so it is interesting to feel like, okay, I have all of these feelings about Mormonism, and yet when I see a Mormon on reality TV, I'm like, oh, like I still
that's my
kind of have
family.
that feeling. Yeah,
no,
like,
totally.
I'm Mormon too.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think I said this, like, I remember saying this on my very first girls camp episode with you, where I said, I do have a deep fondness for my Mormonism, and I still do. And it's like, I've had to like, it's a complicated feeling to have, where it's like, and it's also hard to explain to people when they're like, well, if you loved it, why don't you want your kid to have that? And I'm like, well, I don't like, it's so much different now.
Yeah,
and also if we were in
easy.
the early 90s, maybe it would be different. Like, I don't know, but it's like making peace with like, oh, I am a Mormon.
This is our Mormon message. I'm a member of the Church.
But
of
really,
Jesus
like
Christ
if I
Latter-day
were
Saints.
traveling like internationally or something, and somebody said like, "Oh, do you know any Mormons?" I would say like, "No, I'm a Mormon. I'm not a believing Mormon, but I am a Mormon."
Yes.
Like that's how I feel.
can tell you anything you need to know.
Totally, it's deep in my bones. The funeral potatoes are within me. Like
100%.
I do love that about me, and I have this like kind of weird. I don't know. This just I've embraced it definitely in the last like 2 years probably. Before that, I was like literally, don't call me a Mormon. Don't. Now I'm like, it's in my DNA.
Yeah,
it's who I am.
It always will be.
Yeah.
Here are the cast members
Yes.
who, like I said, I'll share I'll share my hunches, I guess, but this is not, I haven't checked in with these people about their current faith status. So Whitney Carson, pretty sure she's still Mormon in some capacity.
Who I went to high school with.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
She's
didn't
a
realize
doll.
that.
Yeah.
I'm so obsessed with her, especially this season.
Yeah.
Lindsay Arnold, she's not currently on the show. She's a former pro, but her little sister Riley is a pro on the show. Lindsay talks about church and going to church.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure those three are all
And
active.
Riley, I think, is dating someone who is Mormon.
Yes.
Jenna Johnson doesn't seem active anymore, but did grow up Mormon. Ezra,
Yes.
I was going to look before and I forgot to, but I'm pretty positive he's talked openly about not being Mormon anymore, or like joked about
No,
it.
yeah, he's not. He's not.
Brandon,
Yes.
don't know where he stands.
I
but
know they seem
his wife follows me.
I know, Briley. Do you interact with her? She's the best.
I love following her. I haven't interacted with her, and that doesn't mean necessarily anything, but it at least means she's listening to me say the things I say about the Mormon church.
No,
so.
she's awesome. Yeah, I have no clue where they are, which I live for.
Yeah,
I
it's
love.
great.
Yeah.
And Brandon, current pro, no longer on the show. R.I.P. He got voted off early. I love him.
He was also robbed in seasons past.
He was robbed. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. Poor guy.
Hey, I think he should have won last season.
Really?
Yeah.
How far did he get?
I think they made it to the final.
Oh, wow.
He's with Chandler. I don't know her last name. She was on
Disney Channel.
Yeah, she was on like The Descendants or something. I don't know. I didn't know her, but they were stellar.
I'll have to go. I kind of want to watch last season once this season is done because I didn't watch it. Julianne Hough, host of the show.
Yes.
Ex-Mormon. She's talked about it. Derek Hough. I don't think he's talked about being ex-Mormon, but I assume her brother, he's a judge. Okay, there's a troupe, which is like 4 dancers, 2 men, 2 women. They do like interstitial dances and like help on the dances sometimes. 3 out of the 4, which I didn't know before today, researching this, 3 out of the 4 are Utah people.
How crazy is that?
I did not realize.
Yeah.
I knew Carter was.
Yeah.
So Carter Williams is from Utah. Jackson Willard is from Utah. I didn't realize that. Haley Bills, I also didn't know this. She is related to Jenna Johnson, her niece, I think.
I think so.
Knew.
Yeah.
She's currently attending BYU.
Whoa.
I didn't know that. She's a BYU student.
How?
She's like a cougarette. I don't know. Maybe she's like on...
Like a leave
I
or
found
doing
an
online?
article from September that says like from BYU. That was like our BYU student Haley Bills is on Dancing with the Stars.
So crazy.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's wild.
Which is crazy.
They're holding sacrament meeting over there.
No, for real. Well, something I was wondering when I was putting this together is I wonder what the dynamics are like, if there are any, between like active Mormons, ex-Mormons, especially when you have celebs in the mix.
Yeah.
Who come in and are probably like, Robert Irwin is probably like, what's going on with Mormonism?
What about Mormons?
Thank you. I was going to try it and I hoped you would just.
What's up with these Mormons, mate?
I have the funniest story to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to finish this thought.
Okay.
I wonder if there's ever these awkward moments where like he asks Whitney, but Ezra is in the room and it's like, Whitney's explaining Mormonism, but Ezra's kind of like,
If I were to guess, I would bet there's a lot of Mormon politeness happening between both ex-Mormons and current Mormons, because I remember I was at Dear Media Live. This was, I don't know, a few years ago. And like, I remember people were asking me about it, but I was like trying to be careful about like what I said. And I felt like I was honest, but definitely like I've been in situations with Mormons and ex-Mormons where we're all kind of like, okay, let's not ruin the vibe 100%. And let's just like kind of make this not about that. I would assume that's kind of, I don't know. I bet if like, that's what I would do if I was in the room with Robert and Whitney and Robert asked a tricky question to Whitney about Mormonism, I would just let her go and just be like,
the room.
I would run.
No, actually, I always speak. It's funny. I'm like, if people could only hear, I speak highly of Mormonism all the time. In a situation like Robert Irwin asking, I'd be like, it was great growing up. Like, what am I gonna say? If Robert Irwin ever asks me about Mormonism.
Let's role play just in case. You never know when Robert Irwin is going to ask you.
But Whitney Carson has to be in the room.
Yes.
And I'll be prepared.
Exactly.
Okay, this is the funniest thing in the world. I was just with my family and I was talking about coming here to do this episode. My mom was like, I heard something about, there's rumors that Robert Irwin, who's a star on the show.
Took the discussions.
Yes. But he's interested in Haley Bills, that troop member we just talked about. Have you seen these rumors?
No.
So people are like, there's a romance and it's distracting Robert, whatever. But that has kind of spiraled into people thinking like, oh, maybe he's interested in Mormonism because his partner is also Mormon.
Love.
His dance partner, Whitney. So my mom was like, no, my friend said her husband saw something. Like, he's pretty sure Robert's met with the missionaries. So I look it up and there's an article on a BYU. It's like The Onion, but for BYU.
Yeah.
And it's like,
No.
parody article.
No.
And it's like Robert Irwin is meeting with the missionaries and Whitney Leavitt and Jen Affleck are sitting in on the lessons, which is making things really complicated because it's just like obviously
I'm
a joke.
obsessed.
And I'm like, Mom, you gotta let that guy know this is not real.
I'm dying. And also, it's like I saw a TikTok the other day that was like celebrities you didn't know that were Mormon. Post Malone. And then it has like the mission. You've seen the missionary in the airport like handing him the Book of Mormon. And it's like, all right, if that's all it takes to be Mormon, like I guess that's
Exposed
so
to Mormonism
funny.
anyway. So now there's like, I'm sure people who are like, yeah, Robert Irwin is fully meeting with the missionaries.
Oh, there's so many like 50 to 60-year-old moms who believe this with their whole hearts and they're so excited.
They're so excited. I will say, and I said this to my mom, Robert kind of Mormon coded.
Oh, he's for sure. Yeah.
He'd make a great Mormon.
No, he would be a great missionary. He seems like, no, he really is. He can do a backflip, 100%.
And that's how you know.
And that is how you know.
I did a deep dive.
Okay.
Well, before I share my findings, which you may have already read in the note I shared with you.
I read the note, yeah.
I had some working theories as to why so many ballroom dancers are Mormon.
Yeah.
Did you have a working theory? Had you thought about that?
Well, I think that Utah's if we're working backwards,
Yes.
It's like everybody has a lot of kids. People need their kids to be in activities for childcare, basically, which honestly, I've got one and I'm
something
like,
to do.
how soon can I get her in gymnastics, please?
Just got my girls in tumbling.
Oh, I'm
and
so jealous.
thrilled.
I'm
Yeah.
so jealous. So it's like they're putting their kids in activities. I think, there are a lot of affluent areas of Utah where people can afford private dance lessons. They can go to dance every day. They can compete. Like on a higher level, like all of those things in one, because it's the same thing. I mean, with like theater, we have like a ton of like really great theater here in Utah. Like sports are very, very intense from a really young age. Like I think, I don't think it's specific to dance. Like I grew up in like a community where everyone did an activity and did it to the highest level. Like you didn't really do things casually. Like if you were playing a sport, you were doing it on a travel team, you were doing private lessons, you were like
Starting pretty young, too.
Yeah. Like I started playing volleyball when I was like maybe 10 or 11 and I was like behind, like, and anyway, I'm stuttering and rambling, but I think that there's a lot of that happening here, just competitive stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe people like the look of Mormon gals, and so they're performing really well in the dance world. I'm serious.
No,
like there's like
there's
a
look.
like yeah, there's a look to them. It's very clean cut. It's very all American. It's very blonde, white, typical, like
Tanned.
And yeah, exactly. It probably performs really well, literally. In
the performance world.
Yes, yeah.
I actually hadn't thought about the multiple kids thing, but I think that makes
Maybe I'm
so
making
much
that
sense.
up, but
No,
it
I
feels
think that
right.
makes so much sense. Well, I also think it's like it's a perpetuating situation because so many people are doing these activities, then it makes it more competitive already. And then the competition just continues to ramp up.
Yeah.
And then people do it younger. And then there's even more intense dance studios because you have to start really young and be really intense about it. So I think that's that.
Well, and like
makes sense.
wherever you get a lot of like sameness, you get a lot of competition. Like I think that's why influencers have like completely exploded here, because it's like you have a lot of sameness. You're looking for ways to stand out, but while also staying in the box that you want to be in or need to be in or feel like you have to be in, whatever. So it's like, okay, I need to be a stay-at-home mom. How can I be like the most like impressive stay-at-home mom and the most like the best at it? So I don't know. I've always thought about that. Like, why do influencers do so well here? Why are there so many dancers? It's like, I think it's like, one girl starts dancing in your class and then the next girl and the next girl, because we're all the same. We all go to the same church. All of our parents met at BYU. We all dress the same. We all look the same. And I'm not trying to knock that at all. I'm trying to be like kind of objective of like, I think this is what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I grew up that way. I had a positive experience. I'm not saying it like, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. I'm just saying, I think that's why competitive sports and dance and things like that explode here.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
totally
I
makes
might
sense.
be talking out of my ass.
No, I think that's a fantastic theory. My theory was like that, but kind of even less fleshed out, which was just that the perfectionism culture in Mormonism, especially when you're thinking about sports and performing arts, and then especially dance, it makes sense to me that something that is heavily focused on performance and appearance and discipline does well amongst the Mormon crowd, especially when you think about, I mean, these pro dancers, they're starting very, very young. They're not like teenagers who are partying in high school.
Yeah.
You know, they're like probably quite dedicated. They have maybe less distractions than people otherwise would have. I think all of that plays a part. It was interesting because I did not realize until researching for this video, which I will link. I got most of this information from an Alyssa Grenfell video where she was more doing like just kind of like the cold hard facts of dance as it relates to Mormonism. Okay, BYU was the first university in the United States that put dance as part of the curriculum.
Oh, wow.
And still to this day, the only place you can get a ballroom dance degree, like fully ballroom dance, is BYU or Utah Valley University.
No way.
Weird,
I mean,
right?
as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, of course that's what, I mean, as Mormon girls, you're taught kind of like, you know, femininity and motherhood. And it's like the most socially acceptable and celebrated sport to do would be something incredibly feminine like dance or like gymnastics or like cheer. I mean, I would have died if I played softball. Like I would have not been caught dead being like, oh yeah, I'm a softball player in a room of all of the, you know, my peers that were all dancers and, you know, Mormon, and we all wanted to be moms and we were all like, I don't know. I would have not wanted to go against that very feminine, like, archetype or structure.
Yes.
You
Well,
know?
and you think about ballroom dance, this was another point that Alyssa Grenfell made that I hadn't thought about, but it's very traditional. You have a man who leads and sort of showcases
Interesting.
the beauty of the woman.
Yeah.
And in that same way, it is a very gendered sport.
Yeah.
And there's, the lead.
And this
then
is
kind of the
why,
show.
and this is why Dancing with the Stars should not be the star or the dancer. It should be female stars and male pros, or male pros and or whatever. I switch whatever I just said. It should not be.
Because it's too hard to compare.
It's too hard to compare.
That's
I
actually
think-
a really good note.
I think, I'm sorry, Whitney Levitt and Dylan Efron are not putting in the same amount of work. They're not, sorry, I am so pissed about this season, which we'll probably get into.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this is not equal. What is demanded of a woman in ballroom dance? And I'm sure there will be ballroom dancers listening that are like, no, the man has to do this. That's fine. But when you put two professionals together against another two professionals, I agree that all four of them are putting in the same amount of work.
Yeah.
When you put Whitney Levitt and Mark against Dylan and Daniela, I'm sorry, Dylan and Whitney are not carrying the same load. Whitney has the whole dance on her shoulders, and Dylan is being danced around by one of the most beautiful women to ever
and
live.
who are you looking at? You know,
Exactly.
you're looking at the woman.
And like, I get it. People are like,
mean,
well,
I am.
the judge, the judges are looking at both of them and they are judging. Sure. But just the nature of the sport and like the casual spectator, which, sorry, the majority of Dancing with the Stars watchers are casual spectators. We are not ballroom dance professionals. Like,
it's not about the technicality.
Exactly.
To most
And it
people
just
watching.
pisses me off. And I posted this on my story that if we've learned anything again and again and again and again, it's that a mediocre man is he's so sweet. He's so golden retriever. Oh my God, she's so cute. Let's just keep Andy on for another week. Let's go. And Whitney is busting her ass. Oh, so I'm using Whitney as an example. So is every woman on this show, to learn new skills, to be pushed, to actually become better dancers. And they're hated for it. They're punished for it. It's so annoying. Me along with the rest of the world, I'm so done with Andy.
Well,
I'm
apparently
so over
not the rest of the world.
Yeah,
'cause
literally.
Stay he continues to do.
I know. I will say that I don't believe in the integrity of any reality TV show competition base. Like, I really don't. I'm like, there's just no way. I mean, with the way the world works, they're appeasing to the internet before they like are honestly counting votes. I don't think they count votes.
Really?
That's my hot take.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
I'm sorry. Somebody
I
might.
think Andy
He's ruining the show.
At this point,
No,
especially now that they're doing team stuff. For
Yeah.
anyone who's listening who doesn't know, Andy Richter is like
he's a comedian.
almost 60. He's a comedian, or maybe he just turned 60.
I don't know. He's old.
Sweet, sweet guy, but
Sure.
can't dance.
Well, people are saying sweet guy. I'm like, what do you mean? He's not your, like, people are saying.
Jen Affleck is a sweet woman, and
Exactly.
that didn't get her any like sympathy points
No,
from anyone.
probably in fact the opposite.
100%.
And I'm like, Andy has had a 40-year super successful comedy career. He's been on Conan for a bajillion years. We just watched Elf. He's in Elf. He's fine. He's a grown adult. But it's like, oh, it just makes me so mad.
No,
it makes me
really,
so mad.
really frustrating.
Yeah, and I think like I will watch begrudgingly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I hope if he's not gone this week, I'll be really, really frustrated.
Yeah.
I have been very frustrated by the Whitney Levitt hate that at least I've seen because that woman, I think, deserves a clean slate. And I think that she has done phenomenally well.
Yeah.
I think she's an incredible dancer.
She's incredible. I genuinely love her. Like, I love watching her. I'm so happy for her success. I would be shocked if she's not in the final. I think you wrote on your note, like, do I think that she could win? I think that she could, totally. In my heart, do I think she will? I think that Alex will win. Alex is a more... She follows the lines of the Dancing with the Stars winner more than Whitney does. And
she had the opportunity to improve.
Yes.
I almost feel like Whitney's trajectory was she was so good at the beginning.
Yeah.
That seeing Alex improve is so impressive and exciting in a way that Whitney just didn't have nearly as much room to improve.
Exactly. And actually, as I'm saying this, I mean, I can see Alex winning 100%. If I were to put money on it today, who I think is going to win, I do think that Whitney and Robert will win.
I wonder, speaking of the rigged, because didn't Homeboy from The Bachelor win last time?
Joey Graziadei.
He won, right?
Yeah, he won with Jenna.
I wonder if that makes Robert's chances less of winning.
Why?
Just because it was kind of like, okay, I feel like if Chandler won last season, who's like a woman who already had some dance experience, they might kind of try and like switch up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Robert seems a lot more similar to Joey than me. And I feel like having a woman win this time, and like, I don't know. If there was any rigging to it, I think they would be benefited to not have Robert win.
Interesting.
This time,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
However, the final I would want to see most is Alex and Whitney.
Yeah.
Because they're more fun. To your point, it's more fun to compare.
Yeah.
The two women, I think.
Alex Earl and Whitney Levitt.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I forget all the Whitneys.
I feel like just speaking from if I'm thinking of Dancing with the Stars only, Whitney also had a finale where she was hardcore robbed. Like, really? Whitney was with Milo Manheim. Do you know who that is?
I've seen a couple dances.
It's sickening. Like, they should have won 10 toes down, like, no questions asked. Like, it's like lore within the community, like, that I observed from a distance, that they did not win. Like, it was ridiculous. So
you want her to get it.
I would love her to get that. I think that Robert is great. I think he's super entertaining. Like, I don't know. I can see them taking it.
I mean, he's perfect.
He's perfect. He's sweet.
I love him. I'd be thrilled if he won.
I think Whitney and Whitney Levitt, I think they have the most entertaining dances. I think that they are the most fun to watch. But then I think when you get into Alex, it's like, but she's improved and she's, all of that. But as far as partner chemistry, I don't think that Alex and Val have it.
You don't think they have it?
No.
Really? I like their chemistry. Maybe I just like Val so much.
Val's cute. They've gotten better.
Yeah.
Those first couple weeks, I was like, you guys hate each other.
No, you're right. And Mark and Whitney look like they've been dance partners forever.
And they're you can tell that there's, and same with Whitney and Robert. I like their dynamic. Like, when I think about that, which I think is a lot of the reason why people vote, not that I think people are counting the votes, but like, I don't know why I just don't trust the system.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand why
I'm like, why would it? These people are like, in the early days of reality TV, that was like the thrill of it. Now it's like, okay, we have to manufacture this. It just feels very manufactured to me.
I can totally understand the skepticism. Totally. I'm excited to see where the rest of the season takes us.
We're getting down to it.
And I really, really hope, transitioning into Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is coming out next week, season 3, I really hope we get to eventually see the behind the scenes of Dancing with the Stars from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives lens.
I would think that they would be filming season 4 now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It won't be for next season.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to seeing, it's like kind of like a meta inception of like reality TV, but I'm looking forward to seeing more behind the scenes of what this experience has been like, especially for our sweet poor Jen Affleck, who got voted off way too early.
I know. I just love her. And I think that she's the best. Like, I really do. Like, I feel for her. I think that she has shared her like journey, experience, story, whatever, with like so much honesty and like real, like you can just tell she's just earnest. Like, I don't sense fakeness from Jen in any way. And like, watch like next week, totally change my mind on the next season. No, I'm just kidding. I think that she's just been open, and I don't know. I think it's a strength of this reality show in general is that they show, just speaking of meta, what you just said, like season 2, they showed the effects of season 1. And it was really, I was eating it up.
Yeah.
Like that they were talking about, that Demi is sitting there saying like, well, I was the fan favorite. And it's like that breaking of the fourth wall in reality TV is like delicious to me.
A lot of people disliked it, which I'm absolutely with you.
Yeah.
Because that feels real.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're actually thinking
They're
about.
becoming-
That's what they're actually talking about.
They're becoming famous on like we're watching it happen in real time.
That's affecting friendships. That's affecting the way they talk about pay even.
Yeah.
I thought was super fascinating.
I loved it.
Contracts and things like that. I do feel like the season 3 trailer, which I revisited today. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't give a flying fuck about Marciano.
No, it's...
So please bless that
I
gets
almost
taken care of quickly.
Yeah, I hope that they wrap that up. I feel like they recorded that. It's like maybe they didn't understand the success that these women would have on their own. And they're like, let's pull in some key players to see if we can kind of bolster this season up, get a little juice injected into this. And then maybe, and it's like, they didn't need that at all.
It's a distraction.
He doesn't hold a candle to these women. Like, I'm sorry, entertainment wise, like intelligence,
what world is he even from?
From Vanderpump Villa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently, for those who don't know, he had an affair maybe with one of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives women.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm like, you guys did not need to add this. Like, this is so clearly producer driven. It's so like, I just did not like it. Like,
I didn't like it either.
I'm fine with little things being planted in. I get it. You got to have a storyline. You got to have things going. But that just felt, I'm like, why would a man be there? Why would a man be there?
And him, of all men.
Of all men.
No.
Like, I'm super curious about it. I think Jessie shares a lot of her marriage stuff that's going on. Really like Jessie. Like,
same. And maybe as a catalyst, the Marciano stuff could play out in an interesting way, just as a catalyst to see more of Jessie's relationship with her husband.
Totally.
In the trailer, one thing I clocked watching it today is Michaela mentions that she's having like marital stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of briefly.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to get into that. Of course, sitting where I sit, the thing that I really, really hope for in this season or eventually is getting more into what this fame and this amount of feedback has done to the women's faith.
Yeah.
And how they relate to Mormonism.
Yeah.
Because obviously these are an interesting group of women to look at as it comes to Mormonism, because I would say on a scale of like devout to not devout, not very orthodox, they're all pretty far toward the like not devout and orthodox, but some are still more so than others and still consider themselves Mormons and, you know, regardless, are all still very heavily influenced by Mormonism.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like having such unprecedented success also comes with so much scrutiny. And one thing that has been heavily, heavily scrutinized is the Mormon religion through the lens of these women's lives.
Well, I can't imagine they're not getting inundated every day with DMs about the church. And especially when the seasons air, I'm sure they get people sending them the CES letter or whatever. I don't know. And I would assume, I mean, you know what it feels like to sit in that position. Had I become famous at 20, that sounded like I think I'm famous now. I meant like if I became famous, anyway, you know what I mean.
Yes.
If I was on a reality show at 20, they couldn't have taken me out. They could not have convinced me to leave. There's not, like, I stand by with my whole heart people do not leave the church until they themselves want to. You can't talk anybody out of it. You can't send them an article. You can't send them the CES letter and make them believe it. You cannot do it. It's like leaving a toxic marriage. Like you will not ever pull somebody out until they come to you and they say, I'm ready to pursue leaving this.
Tell me what I need to
Yeah.
know.
So it's like if they are, devout and they want to be Mormon, which I think a handful of these girls do want to be Mormon. I mean, I'm sure they get DMs and they delete them and they don't pay attention to them. Like, I don't think that
and
there's...
they've probably seen it all, too.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that they're sitting there kind of ruminating on it, being like, oh, what if that thing that person sent me is true? It's like, I think they probably have pretty strong blockers up.
I do know, or I think it was mentioned, that Zach, Jen Affleck's husband, who was very, very under scrutiny for good reason after like really toxic behavior toward his wife in season 1, which a lot of people connected back to patriarchal culture with the church, things like that. I'm pretty sure, and maybe I heard this, like maybe this is like gossip that I heard from someone who knows or whatever. He stopped going to church because he felt very judged.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that I feel like faith, testimonies, whatever, they crumble like in personal lives. Like they don't like, I don't know. I always think this when I see people like fighting in comment sections and like, Joe Smith did this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is not where the battle is like won. Like you will never convince somebody to leave the church doing this. It's like the personal things. It's the... like
it's that. It's going to church and people judging you and you feeling it.
Or
and you're
it's like Jen feeling like she shared it when she said, I felt really abandoned by God. Like she was like, I was going through all of this and I felt so abandoned. It's like, those are the things that break people down. And like, as much as like, and I get the urge like that people have when it's like, you want to comment, you want to prove somebody wrong. That's not where it happens.
I think that beyond just the scrutiny, the comments and things like that, I think the show has probably pushed a lot of the cast members into these kind of personal crises that have caused them to reflect on.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's like, I'm thinking about these women and I'm like, okay, people are probably sending them stuff. That's not where the faith crisis would happen. It's when they go into their bishop's office and their bishop says, you can't have a temple recommend because I saw this or whatever. And that's when it's like, wait, what? When they are confronted personally with it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying that's happening. I'm just saying like those are the situations where I think people feel
totally
that way. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I just finished Macy's book.
Oh yeah.
And I did not know that much of her story. She's a cast member. All I knew about her story, which is already like crazy, but she was going to BYU, D1 athlete, playing tennis, got pregnant out of wedlock, which is huge no-no at BYU. So she had to take a year off from BYU. But while 10 weeks pregnant, her boyfriend died in a car accident. I also didn't realize he was texting her.
Isn't it devastating?
That. It's so devastating. She also had an incredibly, incredibly abusive relationship before him. Her story is so fascinating. And yeah, I highly recommend the book. People have been calling out I don't think the writing is maybe like the best in the world, but that's not why I was there for that book.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind. Anyway.
And hey, she wrote a book. It's more than I've ever done in my life.
I was saying this. I was like, and she, even just piecing together your life that way is incredibly impressive.
Have you ever like written a page and been like, people do like 800
hundreds
of these.
and hundreds.
It's crazy.
No, it's crazy.
So
Hats off to
kudos.
her.
But yeah, I've heard the same.
I really admire her. After reading her book, it is very fascinating to me that she considers herself Mormon.
Really?
And I sometimes wonder how much of it might be a little behind the scenes push from producers to like be more Mormon than maybe they even feel.
Interesting.
Because that's like the name of the show, right?
Could totally be.
But
I can totally see that.
You have a lot of them who are, and I mean, I'm not doubting that.
Well, they ran with this Saints and Sinners thing. They ran
You're
with
right.
it. They were like, we gotta,
far.
because they I mean, what's a better grab than that? Oh, we have the Saints and we have the Sinners, half against half, whatever. It doesn't work if they all agree.
Exactly. Some of them have to like be Mormon, at least how the show has functioned so far.
Yeah.
But I do hope, and we'll see if any of that comes out with like Jen and Zach. There's been little kind of breadcrumbs. Maybe we see some of that in this next season. But I would be very fascinated.
I mean, I could talk for hours and hours and hours about like modern Mormonism. And like, I've had these conversations with active friends of mine before where exactly like we said earlier, they'll be like, no, but I think the same thing. I don't think you're going to hell for drinking coffee. And I'm like, that's fine. The doctrine you subscribe to does. You holding a temple recommend said, like, trying to explain this, that like there is no nuance. I wish there was. And you and I both tried to be in a nuanced space. And like it's soul crushing to try to find nuance in the most black and white system you could possibly find. Like it doesn't exist. Like it can exist. You can be a nuanced person. The church is not nuanced. It's not confusing what you can and can't do. It's not
It's not a question if you can have coffee or not.
No.
You cannot have coffee if you want to be a full member with full rights
and
to
if
participation.
and people say, well, I drink coffee and my bishop still gives me a temple recommend. Okay, then he's breaking a rule, or you're lying to him, or you're like, because that is the rule. It's not a maybe. It's not, and like it's hard sometimes to watch people be like, well, I'm Mormon and it's fine. I got married in the and it's like, no, but like you can't do that. And then people will be like, well, you're just mad that I'm doing Mormonism better than you can.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm running away with this, but
no, it's an interesting topic, especially in relation to these women, because every single one of them are doing that to some extent. I mean, even Whitney is maybe one of the most Mormon, and she's like not really. Well, the thing is, she's not wearing her garments.
No, that's the thing, is that it's like if you're getting down to what the rules are, I mean, it's like, and we have all these different loopholes and ways we get around, okay, the no garments thing or whatever. And it's like, okay, but the rule is that if she's going to an event, she needs to be wearing her garments. And I'm saying that like,
yeah, you don't care.
I don't care. Like, I don't care. And I think it's great that she's not, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think any of them are like, following the rules like we all did when we were 20.
And like people still do. That's what's interesting. I do think there's obviously this, and I think probably affected by.
Okay, but can I say something?
Yeah, what? Not as much anymore.
Is anyone?
Honestly,
I mean, I'm being dead serious.
No.
Is anyone?
It's a great question.
Me personally, I don't know a devout. I maybe know people who are following the rules. I don't know anybody who would sit and tell me with a straight face, I love everything Joseph Smith did. Like and then on the flip side, the other people I know, they aren't following the rules exactly. I don't know anybody who's black and white Mormon, like our moms or our grandmas. Like that doesn't exist anymore.
I don't
agree
with you. I do know people who keep all the rules.
For sure.
Wearing garments, who would never drink coffee, etc. But especially being who I am, who talks about this so openly, I have conversations with active Mormons here and there.
Yeah.
Where they will validate, oh, that's a huge issue. Like, I think the biggest one I see is people have massive cognitive dissonance around how the church treats LGBTQ people. Where
totally.
It's like, I've not found an active Mormon who can look me in the eye and be like, no, I don't think gay people should get married and be able to go to heaven. Yeah. They have a way of kind of.
Totally. They have like, yeah.
And that already is like making a concession to what is written on paper.
Yeah. And it's like, and I don't even know what that means. I mean, we could probably sit and dissect that for so long because they're also not leaving the church. But I just like, when I sit down with my like active, believing, devout, garment wearing, temple recommend wielding friends, I'm like, why do we agree? You're the one, you're breaking the rules. I'm not. You sitting here telling me that you think that, I'm not going to hell for having a baby out of wedlock. Like I was taught, you know what? Let me just get mad about something really quick. I'm sorry. Mike Lee was my Sunday school teacher growing up.
No way.
Yeah, he was my neighbor growing up. He probably won't hear this.
Mike Lee, if you're listening.
Shout out. So he's my senator. But
by the way.
Is he still our senator? It was Mitt Romney. I love Mitt Romney, by the way.
Oh, he's so hot.
I love. Do you want to hear a side note about Mitt Romney?
Yeah, please.
Let me just give you a 3-hour episode.
So
when my parents were mission presidents when I was a kid, we moved to Boston, and he's from Massachusetts. So he was in our stake, and we went to our first ward activity, our first night there, and I had my twin doll. That was like my favorite doll. He owned Bain Enterprises or whatever that owned my twin American Girl doll. So at like 11 p.m. at night, he came over to the mission home and knocked on the door, and he said, we have the tiny version of your my twin doll. And I saw that you had had it at the ward activity. And I wanted to bring you the my twin doll for your my twin doll.
That's actually the
Isn't that sweet?
I will be Mormon again.
No, literally. I was like, that's my man.
That's my president.
No, that's
also.
my president.
Wait, that's really
Isn't that sweet? Okay, I'm getting so off topic. I just hit my second wind. We put the new battery in the camera and now I'm like ready to go. What was I even saying?
You were saying, okay, Mitt Romney, Mike Lee.
Oh yeah. So
Nader.
I was always believed that the two worst sins are murder and sex outside of marriage. Because one of them is taking a life that didn't want to be taken, and one of them is bringing a life into the world that didn't want to be brought in.
Oof.
Sorry, that's what I was taught.
There's a scripture that says in the Book of Mormon,
Yes.
it says it is a sin second only to murder.
But
it's
it's like-
written in the book.
And but I talked to my Mormon family, my Mormon friends. None of them would ever in a million years agree that me having a baby outside of my marriage, or like before I got married, not externally, like me having a baby before I got married is next to murder. None of them would agree. Why don't they agree, Haley?
know.
I'm confused.
No, they won't. They won't. And that's honestly, that's a
Why
perfect
are they
example.
like why?
Do you know what they would say? Because I did do, I usually don't do this anymore, but occasionally I'll check out like a pro Mormon influencer or podcaster and just be like, how are they talking about this one? Because there's no way. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no way. You know, when the latest Mormon, the tank top garments, for example, the Mormon church just came out with tank top garments. It's ridiculous. There's no real reason for it. And I'm like, how are they making sense of this? And I saw one of them and they were talking about modesty, and someone was like, listen, like, I was told growing up that showing my shoulders was making myself walking pornography for men. I was kicked out of people's homes. I was brought into the bishop's office. And now all of a sudden you can show your shoulders, like, make that make sense. And her response was, certainly there have been issues in the past with how modesty has been taught and presented, but this is progress and we should be so grateful because this is shown. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they always just find a weird way to not have to look you in the eye and be like, no, yeah, it is a sin next to murder. But then like still, you know,
Yeah,
they
I
like
don't
find a
like
way
it.
around it. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Speaking of unorthodox Mormonism,
What?
Taylor Frankie Paul, baby.
My sweet Taylor Frankie Paul.
Tell me what you think about the decision to cast her as the Bachelorette.
Well, I will put it on record here. I don't think we're going to get a full season.
Really?
Yeah.
You think something's just going to go so haywire? You think she's going to bow out?
I think she bows out. I think she picks somebody really early on. I think she
Find some way to throw a wrench in the system.
something wackadoodle is bound to happen.
I hope so.
I do not think we are headed for a run-of-the-mill, Hannah Brown with a couple
Southern gentlemen.
a couple Southern gentlemen and a podium moved away. Like, I don't think we're getting anything normal. And I also worry about her. I don't know. I mean, and it's pure speculation, obviously, but she's very open about her mental health. I worry what, like, men's intentions, the producer's intentions, like, I mean, what they're willing to push to make a good story. Like, if she has somebody there to represent her and take care of her and stick up for her, if she has an attorney or an assistant or somebody, like, I don't know what the logistics of that look like. I would hope that there are like boundaries in place to protect her. I don't know.
I did see one thing I've been thinking about.
Oh, but Dakota's showing up for sure.
Oh my gosh.
You
if
know.
That man.
No,
You think they really will get him to show up?
1,000,000%. I would bet my life they have Dakota fly in and crash a date.
Oh,
and show up.
They
have to show up and say, "Can I steal you for a second?" She turns around and it's Dakota. They're not going to pass that up.
Holding her son.
Literally.
I am really intrigued by one thing she did say in the Call Her Daddy interview. So
Yeah.
Alex Cooper interviewed her when she was announced as the Bachelorette. And Alex Cooper asked her, like, do they have to be Mormon? And she said no. But she said they do have to move to Utah.
Yeah.
Because she has children there and she has
Totally.
2 baby daddy. Like, she can't leave.
Yeah. Also, did you see her story the other day where she said sorry, this is like, I should not say this on air, but she posted her 2 kids with her ex. I don't know his name. Her first ex.
Oh, yeah. I
her
don't
ex-husband,
know his name either.
Tate. But she said Ever and Ocean. No, what are her first kids' names? Her oldest 2.
Because Ever's the most recent one.
Indy. She said, Indy and Ocean have the best dad. He flew them out to see me or whatever. And I'm like, kind of savage to put on your story like that 2 of your kids have the best dad when your other kid has a different dad.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that.
I know. So I worry. I mean, I worry for the kids always. All of these kids, not just her kids. All of these people have kids.
I know.
And
I think it's a relevant issue beyond this is a different level, of course, but just thinking of influencer culture, thinking of all that's already already happened.
I'm so anti kids on the internet. I truly, if I see a kid in content, I'm done. I'm immediate. I'm sorry. I can't. Opposed state, not saying that's what these girls are doing. I'm just saying in general, influencer content of making their kids perform. Like, I'm icked out I don't want to. Why would I follow somebody for their kids? That's weird.
It's so weird.
And if you are listening and you follow somebody to see their kids, you are a weirdo.
And you should stop.
I
was actually really impressed by how much Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has not been about kids.
Totally.
But I
think they all share them online.
They do.
Yeah.
And they just don't need to.
They just don't need to.
That's my biggest thing too, is I'm like, you just don't need to.
No.
You are interesting enough without that.
And like, trust me, I get it. My whole life is that baby. My whole life. I do nothing during the day that is not about Coco. It's I don't want to say it's a challenge, but I'm like, yeah, I omit many parts of my day because I can't talk. I don't want to talk about Coco. I don't want to share her things. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to share her face. I don't want to share what she does. Like, I get it. It's doable. And especially these women who are doing way more than I am. They've got way cooler lives. Like, you cannot share your kids.
Yeah, you have plenty to share otherwise.
Yeah.
It's part of the persona. That's the thing too. Like, especially, Mormon wives. It's like the kids are kind of part of the thing.
I know. It's yuck.
I do wonder, obviously that's going to come up on The Bachelorette because whoever marries her is inheriting
2 baby daddies.
2 baby daddies.
Two
and 3 children.
sets of co-parents. Because one day Dakota will marry somebody and that will be one set of co-parents. And I think Tate is remarried and that's another set of co-parents. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. I mean, blending families and maybe, I bet they have cast some people with kids as well. I would assume they're doing that. And that's a whole other set of co-parents.
Totally.
And it's going to take, here's the thing. The whole situation is going to take a lot of maturity, a lot of level-headedness, a lot of therapy, a lot of adults communicating off the internet.
A lot of the right priorities.
A lot of the right part.
It's a relationship.
We're going to need a hefty helping of that for these situations to work and be okay for everybody.
And did the producers take that into account when casting these men?
I don't know. I do. I feel like I've heard from a couple people. Oh, my husband used to work with a guy who got cast. Like, my brother, kind of friend of a friend of a friend, knew one of them who's like a totally normal, like, BYU graduate dude.
Maybe. What if?
I know, but here's the thing: for co-parenting to work, every adult in the situation has to be the most adult and the most mature and kind and understanding and communicative. If you have one weak link in the chain, it's not going to work. And I fear there may be a few weak links in the chain.
I think I know one of their names.
I just think there may, and it's just tough. And that's when I think about where I'm like, there are kids who are going to grow up with, dads and stepdads and stepmoms and all these things. And every single one of them has to be committed to it being a healthy situation.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
I know.
It's
Taylor
tough.
is such an interesting character. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, why do I feel so like I want to offer her so much leeway? Because she's so chaotic. She's so unnecessarily messy. I mean, there was just the thing of her friend. Did you catch any of that?
Yeah.
Her friend slept with Dakota and she just, and I mean, that's her thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why she's on TV. That's why she's on The Bachelorette. I do think it will be fascinating to see that kind of chaos that she is known for. And I feel like that chaos, non-derogatory.
No, literally.
is going to be very, very, very different for the formula of a show like The Bachelorette. And that's why I think it was a very smart casting. Aside from if I think it's good for her or her family, I think it was a smart casting choice because I think love it or hate it, you are going to be on the edge of your seat.
Totally. No, I agree. I mean, I think that like if they were looking for somebody to get people reinterested in the Bachelor franchise, to bring in like fresh faces, like, you know, they've done this thing where they cast somebody from the previous season, like they've done that forever. Like if they're wanting to like reinvigorate the series, sure. Like it was, but I feel the same way, protective over her. And like to get safety in reality TV, I think you have to be so famous. I mean, to control your edits, to control how much you make, to be protected in it. Like you have to be a Kardashian to be able to really have a say over what your reality TV experience is. And that's what like makes me sick and sad for all of the women that I'm like, are you guys being taken care of appropriately? Because like, who knows? But with Taylor, what was I going to say? I mean, I felt protective over her from season 1 because I'm like, this bitch is the only one who's telling the truth anyway. So like what, like she's the only one who's like not, but then I think that maybe it's gone a little far. It's gone a little far. Like, well, if you did it, then I'm going to say it out loud and I'm going to tell everyone. It's like, well, that's not necessarily the best thing to do always.
Yes.
I mean,
it's
kind
kind of like the speak your truth thing.
Yeah.
Everything can go too far.
Yes.
Everything can like, there's always a case by case basis to things.
Yeah. Well, all I know is that like if I'm around, I'm going to make sure I don't say anything because if it's like, well, if you don't want me to share it, then don't say it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait, but what about the things that I share with you in confidence or that I don't want, that are my decision
to know.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it doesn't air till March.
I know.
So we're going to have to.
Which is another tricky thing with all this reality TV inception. I'm like, she's gone, but she's cross filming, I've heard, but then they're going to like show maybe behind the scenes, maybe not. I don't know. It feels like a whole new frontier with the way these are all kind of.
Here's my my prediction though. Next season, Dancing with the Stars, we're going to get either one of the Bachelor contestants on her season or TFP herself on Dancing with the Stars. I can totally see them doing that. Can't you see them casting her next year?
Yeah. I wonder how. She's obviously like so dancey. It was interesting seeing how like Jen's a phenomenal dancer. It was interesting seeing how that like transferred to ballroom. It would be very interesting to see Taylor Frankie Paul.
My heart
in the
broke
ballroom.
when Jen. This was like 3 episodes ago when Jen was like talking to Jan. I never know if it's Jan or Jan.
Either.
But went to him and she was like, "Do you think I'm a bad dancer?" I was like, Jen, no, you're not. You're a great dancer.
She actually is such a great dancer.
I know.
Something just
I'm rooting for her hardcore.
I am too.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, back to the Andy Richter stuff, is she's so freshly postpartum, and for some reason, like no one gave a fuck, and that was deeply confusing. The
way no one talks about being postpartum enough. The way that Jen just did Dancing with the Stars 6 weeks postpartum.
6 weeks postpartum.
Do you want to know what I was doing 6 weeks postpartum?
I hadn't gotten out of my bed yet. I'm not kidding.
I can't. The unspeakable was happening. Like I could not have even moved. I went to Target and sobbed. There was no one understands the feat that she. Even Whitney being a year postpartum. Insane.
So insane.
So we're gonna have to come back March to do a recap.
Absolutely, and we will.
I'm sorry I kept you so long.
This was perfect.
Oh, I thought that said an hour and 40.
No,
an hour and 41.
We're an hour 15. That's easy.
Perfect.
That's what I was aiming for.
Oh my gosh, perfect.
Thank you for joining me for this.
I could literally, I won't keep you, but I could if I wanted to. Because
once the mic goes off, I might stick around.
I feel like we get one conversation that I'm like, oh, but we could do an episode on that.
I know.
Literally the tank top garments. How are we just going to glaze on over that?
No, there's so much. And it's so nice. I was telling Bentley, I'm like, this is so great because to get to have an uninterrupted conversation with you.
Literally.
And then I'm also doing my job.
We have to get on the mics to be able to not be interrupted. It's
I know,
so true.
Seriously. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me use your studio.
Of course. Come back anytime.
I love you. Thanks everyone for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.